You can read about healing for years and stay exactly the same. I did that for a long time, but everything I knew about getting rid of stress and anxiety flipped when I found out that you cannot think your way into a new belief. So, the best way that I know to heal the old stress and fear is to change who you think you are. So, in this video, I'm going to give you the exact tool to change your identity to whoever you want to be. It is called identity writing. It takes 10 minutes, and I promise you it will change everything. But I have to warn you, this works so well, you do not even have to believe what you're writing. And you have to be very careful what you choose to write. This is week 4 of 12 weeks where I show you how to heal your nervous system so your body feels safe and you can attract the life that you want. But first, we have to get to the root problem everyone struggles with. Understanding your patterns does not change your patterns. Most people can explain exactly why they are anxious. They can name the pattern, they can see it coming, and they still cannot stop it because understanding something and having a core belief are two different things. A core belief is not a thought. A thought comes and goes. A belief stays with you constantly. A core belief is what your nervous system treats as true. We are talking about your fundamental baseline that was built over the course of your entire life. And it controls you even when you're not thinking about it. You can tell yourself you are safe 1,000 times. And if the nervous system still holds the old stress and fear as a core belief, nothing gets better. But this is where everything flips. You do not get rid of an old belief by fighting it and thinking about it and going over it 1,000 times with affirmations. Fighting it just gives it more of your attention. Here is the secret to how a core belief actually changes. The brain keeps a belief as long as it still fits who you are. When you change who you are, the old belief does not fit you anymore, and the brain gets rid of it on its own. That's the whole secret. So the answer is not to think differently. The answer is to become someone the old core belief does not fit anymore. So here is exactly how you use identity writing. You pick one sentence about who you want to become. And this is why I told you to be careful. Whatever sentence you pick is the person you are going to become. So choose carefully because it matters. And you have to use the present tense. It starts with something like I am. I am always focused. I never have anxiety. Or it is safe for me to say no. I do not eat junk food. I like public speaking. One sentence, that is it. Then you sit down, you take a pen, and you write that sentence by hand 100 times. The same sentence over and over, line after line. No typing, write it by hand. And I know how that sounds. 10 minutes of writing one sentence isn't going to do anything, but I have seen what happens when a real person actually does this. I used to be someone who said yes to everything, yes to extra work, yes to the plans that I didn't want to do, yes to everyone else first. And not out of kindness, but because saying no felt dangerous for me. Somewhere along the way, my nervous system learned that no leads to conflict or rejection or losing someone. So I would say yes, even when I wanted to say no. That was not me being kind. That was my old stress and fear making the decision. That was my stored core belief. Then I found identity writing. Every day I sat down and wrote, it is safe for me to say no. 10 minutes, same sentence, day after day. And this is where it gets interesting because the first thing that changed for me was not really what I expected. It wasn't confidence, it wasn't a brand new life, it was something so small most people would miss it. Someone asked me for a favor, and there was a pause, like a real pause, before my automatic yes came out. And inside that pause, there was a choice for the first time in years. That pause was my nervous system updating. That pause was my identity being shifted by a new belief. And I know exactly what you're thinking. I didn't think this would work when I first heard about it either. How can this possibly work when I know I'm the one writing it and I don't believe it? But you do not have to believe the sentence for this to work. You just have to write it. You can doubt every single word while you're writing it, and it still works. because the brain does not care about what you believe. The brain only cares what it sees over and over again. And the brain cannot hold two opposing ideas at the same time. Identity writing goes straight to the prefrontal cortex. But that raises the real question, why writing? Why not just think the new sentence? Because thoughts are fast. A thought takes half a second, and the old stress and fear talks right over. If you think to yourself, I am safe, before that thought even finishes, your old programming overrides it immediately. But writing is different. Writing is slow. When your hand writes a sentence, your whole attention is on that sentence. Every word, one letter at a time. And nothing can talk over it. 10 minutes of writing is 10 minutes where the new belief is the only thing that exists. And when something gets that much time, day after day, the brain starts treating it as true. And once the brain treats something as true, it starts changing how you feel and how you act to line up with it. So here's what you do today. Pick your one sentence. Who do you want to become? It is safe for me to say no. I am calm. I am safe. I never have anxiety. I am someone who finishes what I start. One sentence, present tense, then write it 100 times, writing by hand every day. And you do not have to believe what you are writing. The believing comes after, and that will happen automatically. The writing comes first, because here's the truth about who you think you are. You did not choose it. It was written into you by years of the old stress and fear trying to protect you, one repetition at a time. And if repetition wrote it, repetition can write something new. Only this time, you get to choose. And always remember, it only takes one day to turn everything around.